Yes, guys. Welcome back to All Sorts Football. How you guys doing? I'm with Orest, who will be here for short cameos, bro. Firstly, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Is my connection good, by the way?
Yeah. It's not lagging right now. No. So yes, guys, you know the drill.
Bring up.
This channel will always sponsor like AIDS kits. You can get a 10% discount while they're going in the actual code itself, or Sorts Football lowercase. And then also, if you want to get the actual products, the right kits as well, search for it on AceKits. Yeah, simple.
Before you add people, yeah.
Yeah, sure, bro. Okay, yeah. Hang on a second. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. There was an issue with Aura's connection. So this video is sponsored by Ace Kits. You can get a 10% discount by using the code Aura Talks Football, all lowercase. And also, if you want to go, just go to the website at acekits.com. Access it immediately right now. So without further ado, let's introduce our guests. So firstly, I'm joined by Chris. Chris, mate. It's been a long while. How you doing?
Oh, I'm good, thank you.
Pleasure to have you on, mate. Pleasure to have you on. So we've also got another guest, Ryan. Ryan, mate, how you doing?
Hello there. Thanks for having me. I'm all right, thank you. I hope you're well.
Good. Yeah, I'm very well, thank you. And no other to do. Joe himself, the delusional Arsenal fan. I'm joking. So how you doing, mate?
Doing good, thanks. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you. And also Hanno. Hanno will be here as well.
Yeah.
So how you doing, mate?
I'm good, mate.
Good.
Yourself?
Yeah, very well. Wasn't over that result against Leicester.
Yeah,
You must.
it was good.
And also,
Anyway.
Yeah, it was. Manny, mate, how you doing?
Yeah, pretty good. I do apologise for the dog barking. I live next door to a family which has a very loud dog, so when I'm speaking, the mic will be on, but I will mute it until he calms down. So my apologies in advance. Yeah.
I just want to say, if you guys can hear me, I just want to big up to the viewers, man, because I think one of our videos just hit over 5.3k. So, guys, massive numbers. But listen, we're just 17 away from 300 subscribers. So if you're new, make sure to subscribe, because honestly, the panels here are very, very lovely, and they have good opinions about their own football club and just in general. So let's carry on. Let's carry on, guys. Let's carry on.
5.3k, and the other one got 4.2k. So big numbers.
Oh, absolutely staggering. That's amazing. That's amazing. So let's first off start with first game. So from my Manchester United perspective, it was a great result especially for Boris as well. Already short cameo. What's your thoughts on this performance?
Good win, good win. Obviously, this Southampton, the only reason why we won against Southampton because we got momentum from that Liverpool game. That Liverpool game that we won gave us momentum going forward to the Southampton game. So listen, the performance wasn't good, but 3 points is 3 points, and we move on to Leicester away. But listen, I'm happy with the win. Big up to Bruno Fernandes with the goal. And that wasn't easy to score from that corner, so good shot from him. So we move on, but we have to put in a better performance, because that performance, I did not like that.
As a United fan, what do you think of that performance?
Who's
Chris,
that?
Chris, hear me?
Oh, Chris, yeah, Chris.
Yeah.
Sorry, mate, it's a bit laggy. Yeah, it was a good performance. Well, no, it wasn't. It was a pretty poor performance, but a result's a result. It happens. But yeah, take the result.
Hardy, what do you think yourself? As a United fan yourself, what do you think of the game?
I mean, same thoughts as you and Chris, really. I mean, the thing is, win, of course, but the thing is, if you look at our overall individual performances, there weren't enough. Getting nicked about, that's fine with De Gea, Dillo, Varane, Martinez, Malacia. That's such an impact ball. We've got a solid foundation, also this position from the back, and offensively in the midfield as well. We do need to improve there. We do need to improve there regardless. Hopefully with Casemiro, we definitely see that impact. Manny, let's start with you, mate. Nice performance, considering they've got a win. What are your thoughts on it as an Arsenal fan?
Oh yeah, here's the thing. I actually want to thank Hanno as well because he actually gave me the opportunity along with Ollie Sinclair to do a watch along for that game, and we watched the game. I'm not really going to agree with the majority opinion that United's performance was poor necessarily, because what I saw in that game was a United team that was sort of trying to find its bearings and still continue a bit of recovery after that 4-0 shellacking by the Bees. And, as in the win against Liverpool, they showed a lot of purpose in that game, and this Southampton game as well I think they basically made it very clear that they just wanted to get the 3 points by hook or crook. But they actually did hold their own for a good portion of the first half and did create a few chances. Southampton did come back into the game later on in the first half, but from the balance of play from the first half, I thought it would only be a matter of time before United got the first goal. And it was that sort of cagey play which dominated part of the second half, and of course it took Bruno Fernandes to break the deadlock. And obviously, Southampton, the team they were trying to come back in, and De Gea did have to make one or two decent saves, but the defence did hold firm, and I was impressed with Martinez's ability with the ball on the ground. In the air, I was looking at him, and when you're 5'9" and you have to depend upon your timing and your judgment to win a lot of battles in the air, sometimes that can be thrown off kilter if you've got some really big attackers against you, and that's what happened in the Brentford game, where you had Ivan Toney, Brian Mbeumo, Just Da Silva coming at him. Even from the third goal, I think he lost his footing, and Ben Mee was able to use his height to bundle that third goal in. But this time around, I think he did what he had to do, and certainly on the ground he looked good. The midfield also was solid, and with the introduction of Casemiro, I actually think that you will strengthen your midfield quite a bit. You're going to be a tough proposition against Leicester and, of course, against Arsenal, because we'll be playing you at Old Trafford very soon. So it might not have been necessarily the most polished performance, but at a time like this, you sometimes have to make sure that you get your bearings right. He did name an unchanged team. He wants to make sure that team would reward him with the 3 points. And of course, if Casemiro comes in, that'll improve the team further, because McTominay will drop out. So you've got Eriksen and Casemiro in the middle. That is a dream combination for any team, and I would envy you practically, because we lost Partey, and we'll be segueing into that when you do the Arsenal Fulham review. But it was a good enough performance that United needed, because now you just need the points and you just need to climb up the table and begin your recovery, and I think that's what you're able to do. So job done. And Southampton, they still showed a lot of fight. They still show that they can compete. Maybe with a bit of luck they would have scored a goal, but that's football. That's the way the biscuit crumbles.
100%. What are your thoughts? I mean, with United's performance, they definitely deserved it. Do you agree? One, hear me?
Oh, me.
Who, me? Did you say?
Yeah,
Sorry,
yeah.
you're lagging.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Yeah.
Good win for Man United. Like I say, it's not an easy place to go. Really, is it St Mary's? It's always a difficult place to go. And I know, obviously, you was talking about the performance, but I think sometimes it's just about getting the result. And Man United did that. Great goal as well. Obviously, they backed up the win, that they got against Liverpool, which is key. They're finding some momentum, and yeah, I think it was a good win. Kind of impressed with how they've reacted to that start to the season they've had. Obviously, it's been a tough start, but yeah, you're slowly but surely getting there. So yeah, good win.
Actually, and moving on to Hanno. Hanno?
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. On my end, you keep
Hang on, right, sorry.
cutting out.
Yeah,
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 same.
yeah, dude. So, what are your thoughts?
Yeah. So my thought is, United, they got the win when they didn't play the best. They got the goal. Bruno, he turned up. Ten Hag ball is looking sensational, to be honest. I know I don't really like United, but Ten Hag ball is looking fine. It's looking good, but yeah, hopefully it gets smashed up. Midweek versus Leicester, but yeah, it's looking good. I think the only worry might be just the clinical edge, because look, you could have scored 2-3, you should have, but you're still struggling a bit up top. Now you got Anthony 100 million. Well, it can be another Ziyech, as Joel said. It can be in the group chat. Maybe be another Ziyech. Yeah, we'll see. So yeah, that's my thoughts on United game.
Yeah, 100%. Let's move on to the next. Arsenal's win with Fulham. They're showing got a lot of great characters in the game, but Arsenal somehow turned around with their resilience. And Manny, I want to move on to you. I mean, as an Arsenal fan, how does it feel to win your 4th game in a row?
Muted. Money
Yeah.
muted. Money muted.
Hang on. Yeah. Hang on. Hanno, let's move on.
My bad. I was muted. I do apologize for that. Yeah, so
Let's go.
yeah, I'm happy to win our 4th game in a row, but here's the thing: the league does not end in August; it begins in August. And in any case, we still have one more game in August to play. So if we lose that game and get off, fall off the top, then what's it all worth? But I'm not going to deny that in some cases we do look good, and certainly in terms of our squad quality, we have improved with Jesus and Zinchenko. But this particular game was an example of how we had to react to injuries and injury-induced changes in the lineup. We saw Kieran Tierney play. He looked good for about 60 minutes, but you could also tell by the way he played that he was still nursing the effects of a fairly long injury layoff, and he had to be taken off after about an hour. I mean, that was probably more of a tactical decision, although whether that tactical decision was actually merited is, questionable. Sidebar, dealing with people on Twitter is tiresome AF. But anyway, and also with Partey injured, we have to start El Neni, who of course has been hailed as this loyal professional for being willing to stay at the club and accept his role. And he was given a surprise start. Maybe it's a case of, you have to be prepared for the opportunity even if you don't get it. And you can't just get the opportunity and not be quite prepared. And I would say that he didn't do very badly, but this is another example of how a game against Fulham is probably not his best game to play, because, in some cases he tried to be a little bit too physical and that quite failed. He wasn't really able to completely hold the midfield together the way Partey did. And it just sort of shows in many ways that there's a huge gap in quality between our first 11 and our bench. And that will, of course, be hopefully improved with the EFL Cup games and the Europa League games, where a lot of squad players should get to play in the group games, if not the knockout games. And we still are prone to some defensive mistakes, as assisted by Gabriel's horror show for the Mitrovic goal. And we also did, in many ways, get a little bit lucky with the deflection for Odegaard's goal. But I guess it just goes to show that maybe in some cases you have to be willing to make your own luck. And there's still a lot of debate about Odegaard's performance. You know, one school of thought says that he did have a wonderful game and was the judged man of the match because maybe his role is to sort of, you know, be a little bit like a chameleon of sorts. You sort of stay in the background, don't really try not to do too much, thread some passes through, create some chances, and you know, take a few shots. But another school of thought says that he will never be compared to one of our greatest ever number 10s, Dennis Bergkamp, because he doesn't have the physicality to try and weave through defenses and make sure that he can actually impose himself on the game a lot more. I mean, you take a look at him, he looks like one of those 15-year-old boy band singers. He could very easily be mistaken for Gary Barlow's son. I'm sure you Manchester United fans will know who Gary Barlow is.
What a singer, though.
Huh?
What a singer, though. I mean, what an artist he is. I mean, he's so prominent within the music industry.
Yeah. Top singer, top songwriter. But anyway, so, you know, once again, the celebrations near the end of the match sort of told the story. Those fans were really glad to see our fourth win in succession. But again, it was a win against a team which, along with the other three teams, we would be expected to beat. We came up against an ex-goalkeeper in Bernd Leno who had an inspired game for us until that moment where he, as fate would have it, he made a fumble from a corner which enabled Gabriel Magalhaes to become a hero after being a zero not too long ago. We still had more than our fair share of misplaced passes. A few people still couldn't really impose themselves onto the game. And people talk about Eddie Nketiah's introduction and how it sort of changed the game in many ways. But I mean, sort of being able to, you know, draw some lines in the opposing territory and have the defense at 6s and 7s. But he also had some chances to score, and he mucked up those chances. And you sort of look at that and think, mate, great work, but you're a striker. You're supposed to score goals. That's your main. That's why we're paying you 100,000 quid a week. You can't even take the chances you get. Can you call yourself a striker? We had the same debate with Alex Lacazette near the end of last season that we eventually came to the conclusion, you know, we can't keep playing him. The same thing could happen to Nketiah now, and it makes you wonder, why did we give him that number 14 jersey and that huge contract? So we still have issues, and we still have to address the fact that our squad is not complete yet. The deadline is this Wednesday, and we still do not have adequate defensive midfield cover or a decent right back. And we still have to play the square peg that is Ben White into that round hole, which is the position of right back. And that is also affecting Saka's game. So we still have issues, which is why I'm saying to people, do not get carried away. If and when we get to the position that Leicester were in near the end of the season, when they started to believe that, yes, they could win the league, then we can celebrate. But with the way we're playing, we are still prone to some mistakes, and we will get found out by the likes of Manchester City or even Tottenham, who are coming into their own magnificently. And United and Liverpool are also recovering from setbacks. You'll be talking about the Liverpool game later, I'm sure. So nothing is guaranteed. And of course, our Wednesday game against Aston Villa, in theory, that should be easy, but in paper, you know, Gerrard will want his wounded villains to put up a fight. And with another ex-keeper guarding their net, he'll be determined to have a good game. So nothing is guaranteed. So again, we just have to calm down. Happy with the wins, happy with the 100% record, but not gassing up the team just yet.
100% agree with you. I mean, the thing is with the Arsenal fan base, whenever they overhype mediocrity, it turns out to be negative. But move on to you, Ryan. I mean, I want your thoughts on this game. So with Arsenal's win, do you see them maintaining this?
Yeah, I think that, you know, this win was another fantastic win for Arsenal, of course, to keep that 100% record. And the fact that they went 1-0 down, obviously they showed that character to get back in the game, and they found a way to win. I've been really impressed with Arsenal, really, and I think that, you know, I know there's a lot of talk about, you know, that they've not really faced anyone that may be challenging. You still have to beat what's in front of you, and they have done that somewhere. And the performances, okay, we're still early on in the season, so, you know, it's just about getting results maybe at the start of the season, and then as you go along, the performances will get stronger for Arsenal. I've got no doubt, because I think I've been highly impressed with Jesus, who's come in. I think he's great. I think he's a great player. He looks a lot happier now. He's the focal point of that team. And yeah, I just love watching him, really. I think they've got a really good squad, Arsenal, and this result against a very tough Fulham side who have also started the season quite well. This was never easy, but like I said, they found a way to win, and yeah. So I do see obviously the bigger challenges are coming up. Obviously, thinking towards the Man United game of the week is definitely a bigger challenge, but let's see where they're at after that. Let's see where they're at after they after they face some so-called bigger teams in the division. And yeah, but I've got no doubt that they'll be up there. And I don't think Arsenal fans are getting carried away, Manny, to be honest with you. I just think they're enjoying the moment, in terms of the start you've had. And I just think maybe it is your year to get. But like I say, it's still early days. But I've been impressed by Arsenal so far, and I think that there's no reason why they can't keep it up. And I believe the performances will come eventually. The style that you play, sometimes mistakes do happen. It's how you react to those mistakes. And I think that they've reacted to them and they've found a way to win games maybe that they've not performed the best in. So full credit to them, and let's see what happens.
Okay, fair enough. Thanks
I agree.
I can agree with that. So.
Yeah, that's true. Joe, let's move on to you, mate. I mean, as an Arsenal fan, how are you feeling right now about the result?
I think it was it showed us that we can't keep up with some performances we put in before. Like, we're not going to play perfect every game. There's going to be games where it's tough. And Fulham looked good. They look like they were the best team we've played so far during the game. But I think the best player for us has got to be Odegaard that game. I think he was quality. Obviously, he got his goal, quite lucky, but I think he was one of the best players on the pitch. But Saka, I think he's probably one of the worst. I think he had a poor game. Gabriel obviously gave away a stupid goal that didn't need to happen, but obviously he made up for it scoring the winner. So I think it was a decent performance, but all that matters is the 3 points at the end of the day. So I think obviously against Aston Villa we're going to need to be better than that, and United we're going to need to be a lot better than that. But I'm happy with the 3 points. So yeah. Yeah,
I just agree with you. So Chris, let's move on to you, mate. I mean, with Arsenal's performance, how do you feel about it as a United fan?
Well, it was a good, really, for a football fan point of view, it was a good game to watch because there's a lot of, end-to-end going on. Fulham, they look a good side this season. Obviously, I know they'll be boosted with confidence with their result against Liverpool at the very start of the season. But Arsenal's quality towards the end, just they came back and they were very good, yeah.
Yeah, 100% agree with you. 100% agree with you. That's first Milani's Hanno. I mean, I know you're a Chelsea supporter and you have so much hate for Arsenal. I mean, what are your thoughts on this game? What are your thoughts on the result they got?
Yeah, flipping. They always got to cheat. We all know. How can't VAR or even the ref see? It's a clear handball, that second goal. How? Come on. It's... no. This game, they played well. Fulham played well. And that should be 1-1, not 2-1. Never also should have won that game. If you look at the performance of both teams, for me, Fulham performed way better. Arsenal, they did all right, but as soon as they got that first goal, you knew they were going to win. And it was inevitable. If they did it the correct way, I would give them a props. But 2-1, scoring a handball goal now.
Yeah,
that's one thing they are. I forgot about that when Mane asked me that question on yesterday's stream. I could only remember the Newcastle few of the lucky stuff they had to. But yeah, still not really happy with
Agreed.
VAR, but fair play. Hopefully they get smashed up by who are they facing? Villa.
Yeah,
Please,
but
Steven Gerrard, please. I hate you very much. Please, there's one thing I ask you. That is the better thing. I don't think it will happen, but hopefully. Fingers crossed. Must.
Not going to happen, Hannah. You're going to have to wait until we play United at Old Trafford, maybe.
yeah, that remains a question. Let's move on to the previews for match week 5 now. So, Manny, let's move on to you. I mean, with this game between Villa, how do you see it panning out? Do you see you beating Villa?
Nope. I'm going to predict the same scoreline I did for the Arsenal-Fulham game, 3-1. And it's the second consecutive game where we're facing our ex-goalkeeper. This time it's Emiliano Martinez, who I firmly believe we never should have sold. We should have made him our number 1 ahead of Bergler. But Villa, quite simply, are a team who also in some ways look demoralised, because I predicted that they would win 2-0 against a West Ham team which had lost all their games and hadn't scored a goal. They continued to, completely huff and puff, but they had their own house blown down by a deflected goal, and they just simply couldn't hit the target. But it's also clear to me that they're depending a little bit too much on Felipe Coutinho, and he looked to be limping in some respect. I don't know if he's injured or carrying an injury. He might be carrying a slight injury. I do not believe that Gerrard will be that stupid to try and put him into the team, so he's going to have to come up with another squad combination. It's also quite clear that without that confidence that wins will give you, they're just not going to be able to get a result. It's a shame because they do have some fine players. John McGinn, Mings' injury absence obviously didn't help. I mean, he wasn't injured, but he was feeling a bit sick and out of it. And Ollie Watkins is quality, and of course we can't forget Martinez, who has cruelly been denied clean sheets by either a deflected goal or another own goal or whatever. He has been performing very well, but has just not had the luck. And they just don't seem to have that much luck this season. They're coming up against an Arsenal team which is top of the league with 4 wins out of 4 by maybe some measure of merit, but also with a little bit of luck, which cannot be denied. This match can only go one way, 3-1 to me, and I wouldn't be surprised if Martinez were to save another penalty, but see that rebound get scored. That's just how unlucky they are right now. 3-1 to the Arsenal.
Good point there. So, yes, Joe, let's move on to you. I mean, he's gone. I was literally about to ask him a question about that, but let's move on to Ryan. Ryan, I want your thoughts. I mean, with Arsenal, can you still see them winning?
Yeah, I think that I definitely have backed Arsenal to win this game. I think that, Villa have been so poor that, they had a poor start to the season. I think in some aspects, though, I think you earn your own luck. So the fact that they haven't got luck has kind of, determined how poor they've been, really. Sometimes if you don't get luck, you're just not performing and you're not earning that luck that you may be warranting. But, Arsenal, I've gone for Arsenal to win 3-0 in this one. I think a comfortable for them, and they'll be going into that Manchester United game full of high spirits on the back of a big win. But, Villa have got a lot of work to be doing. They need to hit the ground running soon. I think they've got the quality in the side, but they just don't seem to be doing anything at the moment. Especially at that top end of the pitch. The attacking third. A lot of people are kind of saying maybe Coutinho needs to come out for a bit because they're just not utilising enough. I think that the likes of Leon Bailey, there's been sort of, like I say, kind of coming in and taking his place. I think Villa fans may be wanting that a bit more for now and maybe utilising Coutinho from the bench, which may be crazy to say with the talent that Coutinho's got, but if he's not performing, then you have to take him out the side, no matter who he is. I think Gerrard has to turn it around them quickly because they have started the season poorly, but I don't think this kind of game is in reach for them. But I don't know who they've got after that. But certainly the home games, they need to be winning those games for sure. But yeah, Arsenal comfortable win for me.
Yeah, 100% agree with you. Joe, can you hear me? Yeah, Joe, can you hear me? No, he's not there. So it's hello. Let's move on to you, mate. What are your thoughts on this game? Arsenal versus Aston Villa. How do you see it going? Oh, it's press on. Wait a second.
I think everyone seems to be having issues with their internet service for some reason. It's
Yeah.
like, people are complaining about the audio or whatever. So, yeah, I think maybe Ryan does have a point in saying that sometimes you do make your own luck as well in some cases. But I saw that game in full, and I think if you're not clinical, then you can't simply win. But they're also really dependent on Coutinho a great deal. And maybe, as you say, if he could be hampered by injury, maybe he does need to come out of the side. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so really. All rest, welcome back, mate. Welcome back. So, I want your thoughts on this game. Arsenal versus Aston Villa. So, what are your thoughts?
3-0 Aston Villa. No, I'm joking. Listen, I think Arsenal should win this game. Steven Gerrard. Listen, I'm hearing nobody talking about this guy, man. Honestly, I'm hearing no words about how bad he's doing with Aston Villa. So, honestly, Arsenal have to win. There's no excuses, and I think they will. I think they'll keep a clean sheet as well. But I agree with Money. I think they have the quality of players, but I think it's just the manager that is just clueless, man. If they get I would say, I don't know, Pochettino, Pochettino Aston Villa would work well there. So, yeah, Gerrard, listen, he's only hyped up because he won the Scottish League with Rangers, though. It is what it is. But Sleepy G in the mud. I don't care. Steven Gerrard, mate. That's what you do. That's what happens, man. But listen, I think Arsenal will win. That's my thoughts.
Yeah, I just agree with you. I mean, for me, it's going to be an Arsenal win. I'm saying 3-1 Arsenal. Considering with Villa, you can't rule them out, but with Arsenal, they've got their quality, they've got their competency statistically. You never know with Premier League, you never know.
Hardy, they're top of the league anyways, come on.
Yeah. Even though it'll be their fifth game, you never know. But yeah, let's move on to the next game. So yes, Palace versus Brentford. This is going to be a really, really tough game. So yes, let's move on to Ryan. Ryan, I want your thoughts, mate. So with Palace at the moment, could you see them get a result?
No, I think that Brentford will win this one. I really do. I think that even though Palace are at home and they have got a great kind of atmosphere at Selhurst Park, it's always a tricky place to go, isn't it? Selhurst Park. But I'm a big admirer of Brentford. I think that the brand of football they bring to the Premier League, the way they've stood the ground and play, and Thomas Frank, a great manager. I just think that Brentford will win this one. I think Palace are a great side collectively, but I think Brentford have a brand of football that just really impresses me, like I say, and I think they'll just have too much for Palace, if I'm honest with you. So yeah, I'm going to go for a narrow Brentford win, but I still think they'll be comfortable as such.
Yeah, 100% agree with you. Moving on to you two, Manny. So, I think with this game, how do you see it going?
Well, I think I remember having Ryan on our stream along with Hannah, and we were doing some predictions. But I'm actually going for a Palace win here because one of the things which I know Crystal Palace did have a bit of a setback when they played City, and we're going to probably. Oh yeah, we didn't really speak about that. They did concede 4 goals against City to lose that 2-0 lead. But again, that's City. I mean, they find a way. But Palace look to be a very well-drilled unit, and Vieira does seem to have all the answers as well. And I think he will also have taken the time to study Brentford's players and their formation and find a way to be able to deal with them. And of course, coming to Crystal Palace, Selhurst Park to play is not really an easy proposition, as Ryan himself has said. I just think Palace are going to be very well drilled. They're going to find a way to make sure they come back after that chastening defeat to City, and I have them winning 2-1. Definitely Zaha and Eze should score. Maybe either De Silva or Tony will get one back for the Bees, but it might not be enough. 2-1 to Palace.
Yeah, I just agree with that. So yeah, all rest. Are you still with us?
Yeah.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on this game? So it's Palace versus Brentford. What are your thoughts, bro?
Oh, this is a tricky game, because both of them, I can see them both drawing, but both of them have been good this season, I know Palace lost to City, but they drew against Liverpool at their stadium, at the quiet stadium, Anfield, the Library Stadium, as I should say. But yeah, Crystal Palace have been good this season. Brentford, obviously, we know what happened. They smacked us 4-0, deservedly anyways, but I still think Palace will win this because it's at their ground. Their fans will be up for it. When you're playing Palace away, their fans is like their 12th man, so it's tricky playing at Palace. So I'm gonna say Palace to win this 2-1.
Yeah, I just agree there. So let's move on to the next game. So it's Southampton versus Chelsea. I mean, at the moment,
Chelsea.
Yeah,
Boo! Rest out, people. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Thomas
Best
Tuchel
club in the league. Best club in the league.
Thomas Tuchel in the mud.
But yes, hello. Let's start with
Yeah,
you. I mean, you're a Chelsea fan. What are your thoughts on this game?
Wait. First, let me. Wait.
Here we are.
Wait, just before that. Okay, let me move this back.
You're giving Todd Bowley money, yeah?
No. That's his last season kid. So, not man. Bowley can make his own money, mate. He can make his own money. So, yeah,
Probably more than John Myrtle, yeah.
Yeah, mate. Probably.
He probably has more money than John Myrtle, Rich and Arnold combined.
Yeah. But for this game, of course, Southampton lost on a 2-game losing streak. Chelsea coming off a win versus Leicester will beat United, hopefully, fingers crossed. But yeah, Chelsea, you all know, Chelsea problem lies in midfield. If the midfield performs, Chelsea performs. If the midfield doesn't perform, well, we're done out here. Then we're done. Now with Conor Gallagher out with a red card, it's Ruben Loftus-McCheek versus Ruben Loftus-McChicken versus Angelino in midfield. So it's absolutely
what a midfield! It's better than our midfield, anyways. It's better than our midfield.
Yeah, way better. It's no.
And
We're in the mud.
Yeah, there's.
And if hopefully, I think we will win because Southampton are just dead.
Nah, don't rule out Southampton. Southampton away is tricky, man. We got lucky with the win. I'm gonna be honest, we got lucky, but who cares? 3 points.
That's the thing. United's got lucky, and they're playing better football than us at this point. I have to say.
So
bad point.
What are you saying about Thomas Tuchel then? What are you saying about Thomas Tuchel? You don't like his tactics?
No. I respect Thomas Tuchel.
He
had a masterclass.
I bet Ryan will take him at Huddersfield, anyways. He'll do that job at Huddersfield.
Yeah, I just agree with you. So yes, let's move on to you, bro. So this game, how do you see it going?
Now, all jokes aside, I think Chelsea will win this. I think Gallagher being out is a positive, because I don't know why he's been playing as a number 6 role. Because when me and Hannah do watch-alongs for Chelsea, we've been seeing him playing number 6. So I think it's a positive. It'll probably be Jorginho and Loftus-Cheek. Maybe Kovacic. What's going on with Kovacic? Is he fit to play or?
He came back versus Leicester, but he's not fully fit. If Tuchel plays in nowadays, then it's like playing a half-injured Ronaldo. You're not getting anything out of him if he's fit. Now you're not getting anything out of him if he's half fit.
Is my mic good? Hardy, is my mic good?
No, it starts to play up a little bit. It keeps on sizzling as well. It's making a little bit of noise.
Yeah, give me a minute.
Yeah. So yes, Ryan. Let's move on to you, mate. So with this game with Chelsea, could you see them get a result?
I
Yeah,
predicted 2
obviously,
Chelsea. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, did you say me or Manny? Sorry.
You. Sorry, mate. Yeah, you.
Oh, sorry. As I was saying earlier, I think it's always a difficult place to go. We know this, but I think Chelsea will be too much for them. I really do. I just think, you know, they are, like I say, I have been discouraged by obviously Chelsea's lack of discipline in the last few games. Obviously Koulibaly getting sent off, and Gallagher getting sent off. So they really do need to be being a bit more disciplined. And certainly Southampton will try and frustrate Chelsea, but I still think Chelsea will win this. I'm going for a comfortable win. I'm going 3-0 Chelsea.
3-0. And let's move on to the next game. So it's Manchester City. Yeah, Manchester City versus Nottingham Forest. So this game will be walking apart for City, no doubt.
Apologies.
Yeah, listen, I'm predicting a 2-1 Chelsea win. I'm not going to say too much more, but I do want to ask Hanno. Today we learnt the news that Ross Barkley's stint at Chelsea is now over. The club have agreed to part ways with him.
Arsenal take him.
By mutual consent.
No, you might take him.
What?
Better than McTominay anyways. So,
Go on, man, go on.
Then here's the thing. You've now got a situation where you've got Kante injured, Gallagher suspended, so you might have to play Loftus-Cheek and maybe Jorginho in the midfield. But do you still believe that maybe you were hasty in getting rid of Barkley? Do you think he could perhaps have played a role? Or do you think, no, his time was up, we have to let him go?
So, yeah, that's a good point. For me, his time is up. It's like keeping, what's his face?
Virginia.
No, not. It's like keeping
McTominay
for too long.
Yeah.
You see what it's done to United? It's doing to United. He's done that to us.
Listen,
now
we got Casemiro, baby.
Casemiro. Yeah, he's probably not even starting.
He will start, don't worry. Hardeep sources told me that Casemiro will start against Leicester. So we'll see.
He's most likely to start, though. He's most likely to start, definitely.
Yeah. His time is definitely up. He's been at a club for far too long. He hasn't been used for probably 2 years now? No, 3 years. He wasn't even used under.
3 years,
yeah. He wasn't even used under the Lampard. No, it's longer than that. It's way longer. So yeah. Barkley out. Let's have a party.
Yeah, so I don't know what's going to happen to him. It'll be another career that's gone down south after joining Chelsea, but maybe he'll. I don't know, but we'll see. And that's all I want to say about Southampton Chelsea. 2-1 to Chelsea. They'll just have too much for the Saints.
Yeah, same. 2-1 Chelsea.
Good points, guys. Let's move on to the next game. So it's Manchester City versus Nottingham Forest. Could be in walking park for City. Let's move on to your rest, bro. So with City, could you see them dominating Nottingham Forest?
Listen, Nottingham Forest has more Champions League titles than Manchester City. So listen, I still think.
And Arsenal and Tottenham.
Nah, I think City will win this. Listen, their quality is unstoppable. Haaland bagging a hat trick. Unbelievable, man. So, yeah, I think City will win this. Mate, Nottingham Forest have made their, I think it's 18th signing today, Renan Lodi. So,
yeah.
Willy Bolly from Wolverhampton. Yeah, 19th, Willy Bolly, yeah. So, listen, they're just spending out players, buying their players, but they do deserve it because I think they have Steve Cook from the centre back, so that's an upgrade on him. So, yeah, but listen, I think City will win this 3-0 in my opinion. Well, is that the Etihad? I'm not. Is that the Etihad? Nottingham Forest will probably sit back and probably hit them on the counter attack. That's what they'll probably do. But then I just think City have the quality to beat them.
I just agree with you. So it's Manny. Let's move on to you. With this result, how do you see it going? Could you see City dominating this game?
Do I see them dominating?
It will happen.
I hear them dominating. I smell them dominating. I feel them dominating. The only thing I can't do is taste them dominating. True.
Yeah, because they're not top of the league, Marley, are they?
No, that's terrible.
The Forest have had a good start season, and they proved that they deserve to be in the league. But I think City will just be too much for them. No contest.
Yeah.
What's
Too
my
much.
prediction? 3-0 to Man City.
3-0. So let's move Brian then. Let's move on to you then. So with this result, how do you see it going?
Yeah, I think Man City are going to win comfortably. I think it'll just be too much for Forest. To be fair, they have made a lot of signings. But you have to get those players to gel. You know, this is the thing. It doesn't guarantee that they'll stay up either, by the way. I think that, this, it's all right bringing loads of players together, but like I said, they have to work well together and they have to gel. So, and that just takes time. So, and you have no time in the Premier League to adjust because it's a crazy year. The year just goes so quickly, of course. So, yeah, I think that City will dominate this. There's no doubt about that. I'm going to go 4-0 to Man City. And Erling Haaland is going to get a hat-trick because he's a superstar.
No. Stop this Haaland laugh.
He can do it. He is most likely the hat-trick. You never know with Haaland. He's so inevitable. Okay,
Hano's rattled because he doesn't even have a striker at his club. Oh my days.
Broha,
you also don't have a striker, so what are you talking about?
Yeah, we do.
Ooh, injured Martial.
Injured Martial.
He's injured.
Broja deserves to leave Chelsea because the way that Tuchel is treating him is like, honestly, he's like a 10-year-old. So, Tom, listen, I tried my best to convince him to come to us, but I can't do that, unfortunately, because I'm trying to be professional. So, Broja, mate, if you want game time, then Manchester United are open for you. That's what I can say for myself. Maybe Hardy will agree with me. The door is open for you. Yeah. But listen, City, I still have them to win the league again. Unfortunately, because they're just too good, man. Honestly, they have a world-class manager. They have good players. The squad depth is unbelievable, man. There is too much, man. So it'll be too much for Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, I just agree with you. Hannah, let's move on to you, mate. I mean, what is your perspective?
Okay. Let's talk about City. How many goals do you reckon City will score? 5, 6, 10? Come on. Because honestly, they're getting battered for us. But Joe is probably going to cry. I think he needs therapy after this game. And if also Lucy always needs to speak with him because I think he needs to go.
Who's that? Who needs to go?
No, Joe. He's gonna cry. He needs therapy if Forest loses this game.
Oh yeah. True.
And
what about Elliot?
But
Elliot's a Nottingham Forest fan. Yeah, he's a Nottingham Forest fan as well. Yeah.
And Elliot.
But I still think Nottingham Forest will stay up. I think the Forest will stay up. That's smart.
No chance. You know
yeah,
it.
they will.
Well, if they don't, they'll probably make another 28 signings if they don't. So,
yeah, well, I hope they go down, and with pleasure in saying so as well.
Well, what's with the Huddersfield and Nottingham Forest then? Is there any rivalry between them?
It has to be rivalry, definitely, historically.
Pardon?
More Champions Leagues than Huddersfield anyways, but yeah, let's move on to that.
Yeah, so it's Fulham versus Brighton, so I don't know, let's start with you. How do you see this game going?
Sorry, Hardy is Brighton Munich.
Brighton Munich, the team that slapped up Forest, this Man United, and it's gone in hiding. Okay, enough. Brighton won 3 of the 4 games. So yeah, he's done well. Brighton, honestly. So I reckon it's going to be a tough game. I think Fulham will do it, honestly. I just think under the lights, Craven Cottage, Brighton might choke. I reckon 1-0 Fulham. Up there, Fulham. Whatever their nickname is.
Who knows?
So, yeah.
Who knows? Yeah, that's true. Very true. Manny, let's move on to you. So, how do you see this going in terms of outcome?
2-0 to Brighton. They look impressive. They look solid.
Ooh.
Potter looks as though he has all the answers, and I just think Fulham will have expectations, but I just think they've showed their limitations against Arsenal in a way. Unless there is consistent supply to Mitrovic, and I will credit the Arsenal defence, especially Saliba, for choking the supply to him. Unless there is supply to Mitrovic, he probably won't be able to get the goals, and Fulham will have to rely on other sources. And Brighton just look accomplished. Fulham will probably feel the pressure of expectations at Craven Cottage. I'm going for a 2-0 win for the Seagulls. Easy.
100% agree. 100% agree. So yes, Ryan, let's move on to you. How do you see this game going from a tactical perspective? So, did you see Fulham get a result?
Yeah, I have backed Fulham to win, and I think that Craven Cottage, it's a difficult place to go. It is. I know that Brighton started so well, and I do like watching Brighton. I think they're a great side to watch. The brand of football they play is really good. But I just think I've been impressed with Fulham as well, though, so far. And I think that Craven Cottage is always a difficult place to go, like I said. I think that Mitrovic is proving his doubters wrong, because I think that a lot of people said that he wouldn't cut it in the Premier League and he wouldn't be able to score. I mean, the reality is that I believe that he is a goal scorer if you provide the service to him. And I think, he's a quality player. I think he will get, double figures this time in the Premier League. I do believe that. But yeah, I'm going for a 1-0 Fulham win. And yeah, I do actually fancy them to stay up as well this time. I really do, because I just think there's a different aura about them this time than what we've seen previously. So, 1-0 to Fulham. Mitrovic, of course, he has to score. He'll score again.
He's such a really good player. You never know with Mitrovic. Mitrovic is technically a great player. You never know with Fulham as well. So let's move on to the next game. So it's Leeds versus Everton. Manny, let's start off with you. I think it's with Leeds. They're definitely on momentum in the moment. With Everton for them, I think it's probably just down and out for more than Frank Lampard. So, what are your thoughts?
It's a tough one because Everton have shown some spirit in their last two games, being able to draw, and the arrival of Neil Maupay from Brighton should give them some respite when it comes to being unable to score goals. Maybe Maupay can help them. But Leeds still do look quite efficient. And the reason why I predicted that Brighton would win is because they did really well in taking apart the Leeds over the weekend. And of course, they forced the goalkeeper Melia to make more than a few saves. But Leeds still do look very accomplished as well. And I think Ryan and I were talking about Leeds yesterday, and he was talking about how Jack Harrison has been so influential for them, probably his choice for player of the season so far, but definitely a candidate for player of the season come season's end for them. And of course, when you have Max Aronson and Rodrigo doing so well, yes, Leeds have spent a bit of money trying to strengthen their squad, but they still have some players to come back, and they've recovered from the absence of Rafinha and Calvin Phillips very well. I think they're going to have a bit too much for an Everton team, which still needs to find its bearings. I do not see Maupay scoring immediately, but we know that with Gordon and Gray in the team, they can possibly score. But I'm going for a 2-1 win because I just think in terms of attacking power, Leeds just have that little bit more. They've got that, they just have that extra firepower, if you will. So 2-1 to Leeds.
2-1 to Leeds, yeah, 100%. So yes, Hanno, let's move on to you. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, but before I give my thought, breaking news: Callum Hudson-Odoi has arrived in Germany for his loan spell to Bayer Leverkusen. So is another attacker gone on? So we're really thinning out our attack. So yeah, but on Leeds with Everton, they're still not getting the first one of the season. Leeds, easy dub. Dub 2-0, 1-0, what did I say? Let me just check. 2-0, 2-0. At 2-0, I reckon it will be a clean sweep. Easy as you like.
Interesting. Ryan, let's move on to you, mate. So, Willis game, how do you see this going?
Yeah, I certainly have to back Leeds here. I think that they've had a very good start to the season. I think, Ellen Road, as much as it hurts me to say, they've got a fantastic fan base, they really have. So, and that does help them. Like I say, I've been impressed, like I say, with Jack Harrison. I think he's a great player, and he's a standout performer. I just think that Leeds will have too much for Everton, who are really struggling. Like I said, I know they sound no paid, but I just think, like I said, he won't hit the ground running straight away, and I still feel like they need more players in. And that's the thing. But they've left it too late, and I see another struggling season for Everton. I really do. And the longer the poor results continue, Lampard will become under pressure in that job for sure. But yeah, I'm going 2-0 Leeds, and yeah, I don't see Everton being able to impose themselves at all in this match, unfortunately.
I agree there. I mean, the thing is with Lampard, considering that he's under intense pressure, he is inevitably going to get sacked. Even Gerrard, you never know. You never know with the Premier League. It's so intense. It's very intriguing. This is why it's the best league in the world. So captivating to watch. There are so many twists and turns. Let's move on to the next game. Liverpool versus Newcastle. This is going to be a really huge test for Liverpool. Can they overcome their struggles and beat Newcastle, or will Newcastle last turn round? So yes, Hanno, let's move on to you, mate. So with Liverpool, can you still see them beating them?
No, Liverpool are getting hammered by the Toon. I can't wait. They get hammered, they're getting exposed. Jurgen Klopp is going to pull out his hair. He's not going to know what happened. Poor man is going to stand there like. This is what I have to deal with. 2-1 Newcastle, easy one. I want to say 2-0, but I got to respect Liverpool that bit. But yeah, and yeah, it's only Bournemouth. 9-0, it's only Bournemouth. Yeah, they will carry momentum, but Newcastle will shut them down. Easy that.
I can see that happen, but you never know with Liverpool. Ryan, let's move on to you. I want your thoughts. Can Liverpool actually regain consistency again?
Yeah, I think that, I have to agree with Hanno here. I really do. I think that Newcastle will get this. And I have actually gone for the same scoreline of 2-1 to Newcastle. I think that Liverpool have started the season very slowly. Okay, they did beat, obviously, Bournemouth 9-0, but I don't see that being the catalyst at all for them to push on, because I see that before, the performance they showed before. I just think the defence is all over the place at the moment. I think that Van Dijk is being found out. I think he's not as good as people are making out. I think that he's very poor. He's very lazy, and he's very overhyped, in my opinion. You've got Trent Alexander-Arnold, who's in a position that's, it's all good, being very good going forward and being absolutely fantastic in that department. But he has to do a job defensively because that's the position he plays. But he can't seem to do that either. You've also got, like some Joe Gomez alongside Van Dijk, who I'm not sure he's Liverpool. I'm not sure he's up to standards. I mean, I just don't. I'm not convinced of him. And obviously, Robertson on that left hand side. I like Robertson. I think he's great. He's the best, one of the best defenders they have. But Liverpool just haven't impressed me, unfortunately. And I think, by the way, I want to make a point that the biggest mistake they made was letting go of Sadio Mane, because I'm telling you now, the reality is if you take a quality player out of the side like that, you will be struggling, and it just shows what a quality player he is and the impact he made as well. I think that Salah looks so off it at the moment. I think he needs to find some form. I mean, Firmino, you never know what you're going to get with Firmino. I think Firmino's not the answer really for the centre forward role, if you could say so. So yeah, big mistake letting Mane go, and they are regretting it right now because they could do with him. Mind you, that wouldn't solve their defensive issues they have at the moment. But long story short, I've spoken about Liverpool a lot here, so I'm going to go on to Newcastle just quickly. Sorry to keep you, but I think that Newcastle have impressed me so far. I think they've got a great squad, and I think they've got a brand of football under Eddie Howe that is very impressive. Okay, they've got the backing from the ownership now, but I don't know if Maximan will be available for this one because obviously he did limp off with a hamstring injury. So hopefully he's in there because he would be a big loss for Newcastle if he wasn't able to start. But they've got quality across the pitch, if I'm honest with you, and I just fancy Newcastle to nick it and 2-1, and Liverpool will be back to reality, as you say. So after that 9-0 win against Bournemouth.
So weird.
Before I go on, breaking news, Morton, the Bravka. Here we go. Yeah. United have signed him. Hardeep.
An awful signing. I think Con's signing. I don't know why we made it. So inadequate. What are we doing? Second choice goalkeeper to compete with De Gea from his standards. He's such a deteriorating keeper, though. I mean, he's not the answer. Manny, let's move on to you. I want your perspective on this game.
3-1 to Liverpool. Firstly, don't be too disheartened. Dubravka's a decent signing. He wants some game time. He probably will get it in the Europa League games and the EFL games, and I think he will be a bit of an asset. De Gea does need some competition, and put this way, it's either Dubravka or Tom Heaton in case De Gea is suspended or injured. Who would you rather have?
De Gea for me.
And yes, Mane's departure has been a problem, but one of the things that was seen from Liverpool's 9-0 win over Bournemouth, I mean, as you would say, Ryan, you still have to turn up on the day, you still have to score the goals, and they did what Arsenal couldn't do with the Vitality Stadium, and that is spank them for 4 or 5 or more. And we were also talking about why Mane was such a big loss, because he would play with that front three in that tight line. They sort of stick together thick as thieves, and they knew they had that telepathy and would play well with each other. But it does seem to me that with Diaz coming into the team and being a good signing, he has also linked up fairly well with Salah, and Salah might not have scored, but you can tell that Salah is still very much a part of the play and how much influence he has. So people are gassing up Newcastle a great deal by saying that they could be on their way to big things. Again, let's calm ourselves down. They do have some backing and they do have some players. They had a great result against Manchester City, but that could very well be that one game where they possibly overachieve. And of course, as you've mentioned, Ryan, if St. Maximin has a hamstring injury and won't be able to play, then that could very well be a big loss because he was one of the key men during that draw against Manchester City. And so without his endeavour, your Callum Wilson, your Sergio Almiron, even your Kieran Trippier, you probably wouldn't be able to have too much of an impact. I think St. Maximin really provides that ballast. I think Liverpool have gotten back to finding what works, because you don't just simply win 9-0 without really taking away what works. Yes, Bournemouth were absolutely toothless, as we found out, and even with Solanke coming back in for the second half against his old club, they didn't offer much opposition. So Liverpool will have taken some of the good things out of that win and said to themselves, yes, this works, and I think they will continue their recovery. It will be 3-1, and it will be a Liverpool win. I'm predicting 3-1, and I just don't think that Newcastle are there yet. They could get there over the course of the season, maybe next season or the season after that, but now, sorry, Klopp's the master for now.
Well said. Let's move on to the next game. So it's West Ham versus Spurs. I mean, the Spurs at the moment, they're actually momentum. They're 4th in the league, I believe, on joint points. So Spurs, they can definitely get the right result again against West Ham. So, moving on to you, Ryan. With this game, could you see this being walking parks for Spurs?
Yeah, I think that, I think Tottenham will win. There's no doubt about that. I've got them to win. I think that win for West Ham, though, by the way, their first win, of course, will really help them in this one. Had they have lost that game or draw, they've got a bit of momentum. That first win maybe kickstarts them now. But having said that, I still think Spurs will be too much. I think that the way they've started the season, they've got a fantastic manager in Antonio Conte, who I think that has really impressed me since he's come in. I know we knew what to expect from him when he came in anyway, but I still think, they've got some fantastic players as well, the way they've strengthened the team. And yeah, I think that Spurs will win a trophy this season. It's a bold statement, but I do think they will win it. I think they may win the Carabao Cup or something, but I don't know. But I am really impressed with them. So I think they will win. I think they will win. I'm going to go... I've forgotten what I did my prediction the other day. I forgot. I think I went 2-0 or 3-0 to Spurs. But no, I'm going to go 3-0 to Spurs.
I'm just agree with you there. Joe, no worries, mate. No worries. We understand the issues that you're experiencing, but come on next time, mate. Come on next time. Yes, Manny, let's move on to you. So, with this game, as an Arsenal fan, do you see Spurs win?
Yes, I do. And this is another reason why we cannot afford to get gassed up. Because they showed against Nottingham Forest that they also have a plan B in case their plan A doesn't work. If they can't dominate teams, they will allow teams to come at them, stay solid in defence, and then hit them on the counter-attack. Of course, ironically, they scored in the 5th minute, but after that, we saw them soaking up pressure very well and being able to, just make them a little bit weak, and then they knew how to catch them. I think the only issue was that Heung-min Son ended up wandering offside one time too many, so that is something that Conte will want to work on. The timing of the runs will be important. You think that a player of Son's experience would have that timing down pat by now. But in any case, they look very professional. They look extremely difficult to beat. And the only test they've had, I wouldn't say they aced that test against Chelsea, but they certainly passed it by coming away with a draw. And they showed that they do have some fighting spirit, even though I will agree with Hannah that Chelsea dominated that game and should probably have deservedly won. But Tottenham look good, and as do Brighton, who are 3rd, as do Manchester City, who are also in the top 4. And City and Tottenham have identical records, have played 3, drawn 1, and we haven't played either of them. So Tottenham should win, and I think West Ham will realise that as welcome as that win was against Villa, they will recognise that they were extremely, extremely fortunate. And I did predict as well that they would struggle to recreate their exploits of the season gone by, because, there probably would be that weight of expectation. I just don't think West Ham would be the type of team to consistently maintain that charge. So they are still in some trouble, but road to Red Devils, thank you very much indeed, mate. Thank you very much indeed.
Yeah.
Brilliantly said. Thank you very much indeed. And they're going to struggle against a well-drilled team under a very accomplished manager. And David Moyes, for all of his accomplishments with Everton and now with West Ham, he simply isn't in Conte's league, and we all know it. I'm going for a 2-0 win for Tottenham. And it'll be either Kane or Son, but somebody else might score. Maybe Lucas Moura could come on as a sub and nick a late winner. Who knows?
Who knows the Premier League? Hannah, let's move on to you. What are your thoughts on this game as a Chelsea fan? Do you see Tottenham getting another win?
Yeah, straightforward win for Tottenham. If they don't, I'll play in the mud if they don't. But yeah, I reckon Spurs will win. What did I say? Let me just check. 2-1 to Spurs. I reckon you've got to give West Ham the go at home, so yeah.
Yeah, I understand. Leon, big up, mate. How you doing?
Yes, Hardy, I'm good, thank you.
Yeah. That's gonna be good news, mate. I'm really good, thank you. Really good, thank you.
McDonald's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want your thoughts on this game with West Ham versus Tottenham. How do you see it going?
Well, I think this will be a really good game. You can't write West Ham off, obviously just beating Villa, but I think Spurs will be up for this game, after winning a few games on the bounce, had a really good start. But I think this will be a good close game, but I think Spurs could edge this like 2-1. 2-1, I think the Spurs.
2-1,
Yeah.
so I agree. Ryan, let's move on to you, mate. How do you see this game go?
I've already spoken about this game.
Oh, apologies. Sorry.
I didn't say much in this one. That's probably why you've forgotten. But I do want to mention something before, though.
Yeah,
I think Perisic, by the way, for Tottenham is a very shrewd signing. 33 years old, a free agent. He's a very good quality player. He really is, and he's impressed me. And it's great to see him in the Premier League as well, because I think that obviously we've seen him abroad and he's done it there. It's nice to see him in the Premier League and proving that he can do it in the Premier League as well. He's a real professional, and I've kind of enjoyed watching him in the Premier League, and I think he's finding his feet now. I think he's obviously didn't start many games earlier on in the season, a few games ago, but he's found his feet and he's looking very good. So yeah, that's all I want to say. And yeah, I'm a big Perisic fan, but yeah, that's all.
No worries, mate. Let's move on to the
That's
next.
also
Sorry about
breaking
that.
news again.
Yeah.
West Ham have signed Lucas
Oh, it's
Paqueta. It's confirmed. These are West Ham players soon.
He'll be a really good player for West Ham. I mean, considering his flexibility and also his versatility, I think he'll be a really good fit to their system and that creativity at the moment. And I heard that Arsenal will link with him intensely. And Manny, I want your thoughts quickly on Paqueta.
Yes.
What are your thoughts?
Yes, they were. And that is yet another example of how we've once again dawdled in the transfer market and have had our lunch money taken away from us. You know what they say, shy children won't get sweets. We dawdled and we lost him. He would have been an asset to us. He could have helped provide some competition for Saka, maybe, but it's another one who's flown away from the cuckoo's nest, if you will. And we're all cuckoo for missing out on him.
I'm saying agree. Let's move on to the next game. Bournemouth vs Wolves. Leon, let's start off with you, mate. So with Wolves, can they gain a huge win this?
Yeah, I think Wolves can win this game. Bournemouth have had a very good start. They obviously won the first game they had, but losing 9-0 to Liverpool. I know Liverpool are a different side to Wolves, but I do think Wolves will have too much quality. And also with Raul Jimenez coming back into the squad, he's a really big goal threat. So I think Wolves will have too much for Bournemouth on the day, and I think Wolves will comfortably win this game.
I'm so agree. And also, then a new signing, Sasa Kazalicic. I mean, he's a really good player from the Scottish squad. I mean, that's exactly what they need up front. So, 6'7" striker, target man, really well striker. He will definitely be a really good asset for them as well. Just add-ons. So yes, Hanno, let's move on to you, mate. What are your thoughts going?
So of course, Bournemouth coming off an absolute thrashing. Wolves coming off a draw versus Newcastle. Fair play to them for getting a draw. Many people don't think they will get a draw, but they did get a draw. I reckon Wolves will do it again. Pedro Neto, Ruben Neves, but with class players, I reckon they will do it 2-1 Wolves.
2-1, definitely agree. Manny, how about you? Sorry, yeah, sure. How about you, Manny?
2-0 to Wolves. Bournemouth look disoriented, demoralised, and maybe to some extent disorganised. And I think Wolves will feel very aggrieved that they couldn't win against Newcastle. They should take their anger out on the Cherries. 2-0.
Yeah, understand. Ryan, how about you?
Yeah, I actually disagree with you all. I think that Bournemouth will win this, and they'll only score one goal, but I think they'll bounce back from this defeat against Liverpool. I really do. I think that obviously Solanke came on in the second half for them, still finding his feet, admittedly obviously through an injury, but I think obviously he'll come into the side for this one, start the game. I think that Wolves should really have won that game against Newcastle. Let's be honest. They go 1-0 up, and you've got to try and get the second, but they just didn't seem to be able to do so. I think Jimenez looks a different player since he got that injury. He doesn't seem the same player to me. He doesn't seem to be able to find that form at the moment. So, and I think Wolves are really struggling at the moment. I just don't see. I think they're going to be in trouble this time. And yeah, I just think Bournemouth will nick it just 1-0, but it will certainly be a very close one.
100% agree with you. 100% agree with you. Let's move on to the last game, guys. Let's move on to the last game. So it's Leicester versus Manchester United. Leon, as a Man United fan, how do you feel?
Well, I'm really looking forward to this game. You know, I think it'll be a good game. You know, against Leicester. You know, we usually have a good game against them, but we have had some bad games against them in the past. But this game, I think the player spirits will be really high now after beating Liverpool and Southampton. You know, we have Arsenal on the weekend, and I do feel comfortable we'll win this game. You know, I think Martinez will have another really good game. You know, wherever he gets up against Vardy, Daka, wherever he gets up against. But I'm comfortable we can win this game and hopefully keep a clean sheet. That's the aim for this game.
100%. I mean, with the King Power Stadium, it's one of the most hostile atmospheres in Europe, and if we can clean sheet get a win, that'll be unbelievable. Yeah, 100%. Ryan, moving on to you. How do you see us playing game in that?
Yeah, I think that Leicester are very much struggling, aren't they? They're obviously sitting at the bottom of the table. They're just struggling, and I think there's a lot of pressure with Brendan Rodgers at the moment. I think that the longer this goes, I just can't see him being in the job in the next few weeks. To be honest with you, I think that he will be getting sacked. And you say about the King Power atmosphere, I just think there's a lot of it's very toxic, really. You know, I think throughout this stadium at the moment, Leicester. I just feel it. You know, when I kind of watch the games on the Hearts, whatever. I think Man United will win. I think they'll win comfortably. I do think they'll get a clean sheet as well. So I'm going to go 3-0 Man United. I think Man United will keep that form up. And yeah, they're finding form. And, you know, I think with Casemiro as well coming in, I think he's a very, very good sign. I know people are saying that he's too old, but he's not too old. He's still got the quality. He's still, obviously, can he do it in the Premier League is always the question, but why can't he, you know, because he's been at Madrid, he's done it there. Okay, arguably the midfield that surrounded him was quality, but I think he can really impose himself in the Premier League. So yeah, I'm going 3-0 to Man United, and Leicester may need to be looking for a new manager after this game, potentially.
100%. Manny, let's move on to you. What are your thoughts? You're mute. Yeah, you're mute.
Oops. Yeah, cool. Yeah, 2-1 to United, easy. I actually have a lot of time for Brendan Rodgers, but it does seem clear now that you know, the stars are sort of lined up against him, from Leicester's inability to buy players to having had to let go of their captain Kasper Schmeichel. They've also decided to cut their losses with Wesley Fofana, and you know, they just don't seem to be able to rise up from their funk at the moment. Although he could perhaps solve his problem by trying to bring Kagler Soyuncu back into the team, as long as he is fit. And if he doesn't want to do that, then, you know, that can be seen as stubbornness. I think Leicester, if they want to play their favoured 5-3-2 or whatever, have 5 at the back, then they're going to have to bite the bullet and bring Soyuncu back in, because without Fofana, they wouldn't have. You can't play that formation. They played 4 at the back against Chelsea. They thought they had a chance and just couldn't quite get it. It's a shame, because Leicester do have good players, and against Arsenal, I think James Justin and James Maddison actually had really good games against us, but there just doesn't seem to be that feel-good factor around Leicester at the moment, and this is actually the right time for United to capitalise on it. Whether or not Rodgers gets the sack after this game, I don't know, because it does seem clear that he hasn't had the financial backing or the support he needs. But again, you know, football is a bit of it's a ruthless business. It's unsentimental, and yet I just don't know if Leicester will be willing to part company with their manager without having a ready replacement so early in the season. Even when Ranieri had that horrible run, he was only axed in the middle of the season or somewhere around November or December. And then Shakespeare took over and took them to within a very questionable penalty decision of a Champions League semi-final. So I think Rodgers might potentially be given time, but it's still not looking good for them. And it's sad because Leicester are a team which I do enjoy watching. But it is what it is. United look to be on the recovery. I back you boys to make it 3 straight. So another 2-1 win, hard fought. Maddison should score, or maybe Justin will find the net. We'll see.
Yeah, I agree. Sorry about that, guys. Hanno has to go somewhere, but his prediction was actually 2-1 United. So we got to him. He's such a great YouTuber. You know where to find him. Hanno's Coach on YouTube. That's where you can find him. Great guy. And also on Instagram, he's really enthusiastic. So it's Hanno Can Coach. So that's how you can find him, guys. Let's move on to the next one, guys. It will be our last topic before we actually just shut off. So who will be the busiest club on deadline day? I mean, specifically in Premier League after all. That's going to be the interesting question. Leon, let's move on to you. Who do you think will be the busiest club on the transfer window?
Yeah, I mean, that's a really good question. I'm just going to start off saying I think United will be really busy, like at least trying to get 1 or 2 more signs in, because we do need a striker. We've seen that in these past 2 games. Anthony's a winger, we know that, but we do need a striker. We've seen we put Rashford up front. He don't really make the runs. We have Ronaldo on the bench, but he wants to go. So I don't know. Martial's obviously injured now, but I think United will be going in for a striker on deadline day or a few days before. But when you look at other teams like Leicester, they need signings as well. But like Rodgers needs to be back. Do you want to get? But as you were just saying, I think he will get sacked in the future. Not too long, but I think United will be looking to get a striker, maybe another midfielder in, but I think lots of the clubs will be busy trying to get through more quality signings in.
100%. Manny, how about you? Who do you think will be the busiest club on transfer window deadline day?
I actually think the busiest club on deadline day, Harry, will be a club which will be in the most need of reinforcements. And I think it was made clear by Scott Parker after that 9-0 shellacking that they need some new players. Because you take a look at the way they play, they look absolutely disoriented, and they need to have some kind of a system with which they can play. And certainly the fact that they've shipped so many goals doesn't augur at all well for them. They do have a backup keeper in Neto who is pretty experienced and of decent quality, and maybe if Parker feels that Travers might need to be taken out of the firing line, and that's a good buy. But then they still might need a little bit more in terms of attacking options. Maybe their defense needs to be bolstered. They could be certainly very busy. Apart from them, until Leicester solve their financial problems, I don't think they could really buy anyone. Arsenal do need to make at least 2 signings before their club can be considered anywhere near good enough. Brighton won't need to make any changes. Everton seem to have Mopé for now, and maybe they'll trust their squad. For me, I think it'll be one of those clubs at the bottom of the table, but not Leicester. It has to be probably Bournemouth, because they will need some signings, and I wouldn't be surprised if they made a few signings. If not today, then within the next 48 hours before the deadline expires.
Yeah, 100%. Ryan, how about yourself? From your perspective, who do you think will be the busiest?
Yeah, I just think, obviously the team's towards the bottom, obviously. I think Everton do need reinforcements though, Manny. I think that they're really short at the moment. They're still lacking that quality that you need. Wolves, another one. I think Wolves need to be getting a few more in, because, like I said, another team that's struggling. I just feel like they need some new players in to ignite something, to be honest with you. And obviously with the likes of Cody going as well, they do really need to trying to replace Cody anyway in that centre back role, because you're really a massive difference to that team. And I'm not saying obviously the person that's coming is not good enough, but I just think that they need somebody else. Leicester, I mean, why haven't Leicester got the financial? They should be looking to improve this squad, because they're struggling. They need players. They're selling, they've obviously sold Kasper Schmeichel, Tielemans, potentially going. But I think that they need to be looking at improving their squad, because they're clearly short. Bournemouth, I mean, I'm saying loads of teams here, but it's so hard to actually pinpoint one. I think Bournemouth may need to make a few more, just to bolster the squad. I think that sometimes when you've got a small squad like they have, I think you need to have a lot of players in the Premier League, to give yourself different options. So I'm not going to keep going up the league, but I certainly think that Chelsea need a striker, I think that's about it. I don't know what else to say. Yeah, I think that's it. But yeah, the teams towards the bottom need to be improving their squads. But it's just about who they can get in at this stage. Because if you're leaving it this late anyway, it's always tricky business to do, isn't it? So we'll have to see.
Yeah, great opinions, guys. Great opinions. For me, I think it will be one of the relegation potential sides, and for them, the lack of investment is so terrifying. And if they're not going to sign us in, because they are definitely certain for relegation, or if not worse, embarrassed essentially. So, guys, before we actually wrap this up, where can we find you? Start off by Manny. Where can we find you, mate?
Me, right? Yep.
Yeah.
You can find me as usual on over here, Oris Talks Football. I don't have a YouTube channel of my own, but I keep going on other channels to say what I want to say and let the chips fall where they may. Apart from Oris Talks Football, you can find me on Del Boy Gunner TV, S Beatley TV, a few appearances on Hanno's Coach Corner, and also on the NS Sports TV's Football podcast, whenever that happens. I think he might be busy right now. But I just like floating around and saying my thing. And on social media, you can find me on Twitter at Thangadare1981. You can see me have a few furious debates with some Arteta inners there. For a more close connection on Instagram, you can catch me at Manny Thangadare1981. And that's pretty much it. Thanks a lot for having me. It's been good to chat with you boys as always, and I can't wait for the next stream.
Can't wait for it as well. We can't wait for it as well. Leon, how about yourself?
Yeah, so on TikTok you can find me United Clips with a Z. We're closing on 300k, so if you follow that, we very much appreciated. And Instagram Leon.MUFC, and obviously here on Oris Talks Football.
Thank you, mate. Thank you, bro. Ryan, how about yourself? Where can we find you on social media, or not maybe YouTube?
Yeah, I've got my own YouTube channel, so you can find me at Huddersfield Town Fan TV. Obviously, I do plenty of things. I've done a few vlogs. I do preview shows. I do review shows of obviously Huddersfield's games. As well, I just love talking football, like I say. So plenty of other things coming in the future for sure. You can find me on my social as well, Instagram and Twitter, HTFTV8 as well. So please go and give me a follow. Like I said, I am on the road to 200 subscribers on YouTube as well. I just hit 140 today, so I'm not that far away. So yeah, please go and subscribe if you haven't already. But yeah, cheers for having me on, by the way. I've loved it. It's been great.
Thank you guys for coming on. For all of us, success is always granted. If we work hard, if we show dedication, motivation, whatever sort of success, this channel always talks football. We've got the potential to go far, and if we continue this credibility of actually showing this content, we will definitely achieve the greatness that we want. Especially for everyone here, for likes of Ryan, who has got his own huge channel. You've got great potential as well. Leon as well. Manny, we've all got amazing qualities. We're all versatile. We're all certain for ambition. So, for anyone, always have the right mentality and be driven, no matter what. So, yes, guys, thank you for coming. Shall speak to you soon. Goodbye.
Thank you, buddy.
Bye.
Thank you. See ya.